Spread your wings and fly. You belong to the sky. Many wonders lie waiting within your mind's eye. As you believe, you will receive. As you believe, you will receive. As you believe. With great clarity, claim your destiny. Beyond perceived boundaries lies possibility. As you believe, you will receive. You will receive. As you believe, you will receive. You will receive. As you believe. And as you believe, you will receive. You will receive. As you believe, you will receive. You will receive. As you believe. Keeping it all sight unseen. To those who believe in their dreams, you will receive. You will receive. As you believe, you will receive. As you believe. Happy Sunday.
As you believe, so you receive. It's just the core of our teaching, right? Just to integrate and embed that even more with our opening treatment, which is also called affirmative prayer. So I invite you to join me in this consciousness. And so we take a deep breath into this moment and allow ourselves to be uplifted by the power and presence of God, of spirit, of love, of joy that exists at the very core of our being. For at the very core of our being, we are drawn to this teaching that says, as you believe, so you receive. This ancient wisdom that we call new thought that instructs us and reminds us in every moment that we are united and unified with the power and presence that we call whatever we call it, whether we call it God, whether we call it good, whether we call it love, whether we call it wisdom. It is all this highest idea, this absolute beingness of Source itself. And Source is itself as each one of us and allows us to live in this glorious life as the unique expression of Source in our own and unique and glorious way. And so I welcome each one here today in their glorious way, just as you are, showing up as the experience of God in form, showing up as the experience of God in action, showing up as the experience of love in action. For that is what we represent at Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. Love in action. And as we allow ourselves to embody this truth, we receive more love in our lives, and we allow our love to go out to all those in our lives. And so, with so much gratitude for each one for showing up today, just as you are, and allowing yourself to be uplifted by the music and the message that I know is blessed and uplifts us and inspires us and allows us to be even more of who we are and more of all that is in the world. I release this word into the law of mind action that we know brings it forth right here and right now in beautiful and perfect unfolding. And so for this and so much more, I am so grateful, and I invite you to join me in saying, and so it is. Again. Thank you for being here again. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. We are a vibrant community where love, joy, and inclusivity are at the heart of everything that we do. Here we honor the unique journey of every soul, offering a place of healing, of growth, and of celebration. And together, each one of us, we create an atmosphere of openness and love, where every person is seen and valued and accepted just as they are. I'm Reverend Janice Valera. I'm so honored to be a minister here. And thank you for joining us, whether you are here in person. It's so nice to be in person, isn't it? Oh gosh, it's so good. When the snow came a little this morning, I'm like, not again. No, it's not. And here it is. So thank you for all being here. Or if you're watching us on the live stream now or later on at the recording, we are just so happy that you are joining us in any way, in any form. And if it is your first time with us, and I don't think I see anybody for the first time, but if you've never gotten a welcome packet, please make sure that you receive one. Please sign up for our Constant Contact newsletter, where we let you know everything that's happening and keep you informed, and that's our main form of communication. So please do that in the back, or fill out a visitor form if you haven't done one and want to also know more about that. We do hear who we are. You can also visit us at our website, which is cflmorristown.org. It's a great website. I don't know how many of you, once you're here, you probably don't check it a lot, but it's really a good website. There's a lot of information, and there's things that we publish for you to read every month, and I hope you do check it out at some point. So I am pleased, of course, to welcome back the incredibly powerful Kris Ferraro, the incredibly talented Rhonda Dene on our first Sunday of a new month. We celebrate every week, along with other centers for spiritual living, the annual theme, which this year is open at the top. It's probably my favorite theme so far. It's something Ernest Holmes always said, we stay open at the top. The monthly theme is what if? I love that, right? What if? We're going to be exploring that in lots of ways. We have 5 Sundays this month. Kris's topic today, appropriate for March, is making our own good luck. So that's going to be interesting. So we're going to begin with our Namaste practice. And I was thinking about the Namaste practice this morning. I was reminded of one of my favorite little Zen teaching stories that I want to share with you. So there was a monastery, and the abbot died. And the rest of the monks were getting a little anxious about who's going to be our next abbot, and when are they going to come? So one day the senior teacher sat them all down and said, the next abbot is among you. So each one of the monks started looking at themselves differently, not arrogantly, but I can maybe be the next abbot. If I have that kind of wholeness and divinity in me, I'm going to honor myself and respect that in myself, cultivate that in myself. And they began to look at the other monks a little bit differently. If you are going to be the next monk, I'm going to begin to honor that holiness and divinity in you and respect you more. And in a very short period of time, everything changed at the monastery. The whole atmosphere and the whole energy changed. And finally, the senior teacher said to them, well, actually, the next abbot is an awakened heart. And when our heart is awakened to recognize the holiness and the divinity in ourselves and in others, that is the community we create. So when we do this namaste practice every Sunday, it's not just a habit or a routine. That is what we are doing. We are honoring that holiness, divinity in us and in each other and creating that atmosphere. So let us do that with that consciousness today. And I invite you to stand, Kris, this time, because so many of us are here. So let's take a moment to honor the divinity in you, honor the divinity in the other, and who knows? Gently settle into this moment. Allow your body to soften. Let your shoulders relax. Unclench your jaw. And take a slow, deep breath in through the nose and release it slowly through the mouth. Again, breathe in peace. Breathe out, releasing anything you no longer need to carry. Allow your awareness to turn in. Not to effort. Not for striving, but to presence. There is a divine intelligence moving through all life. An infinite wisdom that knows how to create harmony, order, and right timing. And that same intelligence lives within you. Just take a moment to feel into that. Feel the quiet intelligence of your own breath. The steady rhythm of your heart. The sacred awareness that is already there. We often call moments of grace luck. But in this sacred space, we recognize something deeper. We recognize alignment. Alignment with spirit, alignment with truth, alignment with divine order, alignment with the wisdom of our own inner being. Now gently imagine a warm golden light within your chest. The light represents your inner world, your inner being. Even your thoughts and beliefs and intentions and consciousness. There is only alignment unfolding. So rest in this awareness for a few breaths. Long inhale and slow exhale. Once more, inhale and slow exhale. Now begin to feel gratitude. Gratitude for your breath. Gratitude for this moment. Gratitude for this awareness. For the divine order moving through your life, even when you cannot yet see the full picture. And silently affirm, I have the power to change my life. When I take loving responsibility for my inner world, life meets me in grace. So gently begin to bring your awareness back to this room, feeling your body, feeling your breath, feeling the support of the space all around you. Whenever you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and Rhonda bless us with a song.
Changes and they shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. And if you ask me who I am wisdom, I am light. I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. And if you ask me what I am, I'm beauty, I am joy, I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes
you for being here and joining me today. I had this plan to do this very light and fun talk today. It's March, it's the season of St. Patrick's Day. I even had a green sequin dress that I was going to But life be lifing lately. And the past couple of weeks have been a little intense. And yesterday I got up and I had a big, long schedule of clients, and so I wasn't really on my phone. But there was a heaviness that was in the air. And it wasn't until later in the day that I realized that we had gone to war. And I thought, wow, what a culmination of the past couple of weeks with revelations and things that have come to the surface that may be disquieting, that may bring up grief or sadness. And what I'm specifically talking about is Deepak Chopra. And so many of you probably know, and if you don't, I just think it's important that we share about this. That in the Epstein files, there's been some revelations that have come out about things that may involve criminal activity, but at the very least, things that bring into question his character. And he's had a huge influence within our movement. He's been as close as consciousness will get to a pope. And as a medical doctor, he's been able to operate in mainstream fields in ways that brought our teaching into places that probably otherwise wouldn't have been introduced to it. And so I want to say that the leadership in our organization is really doing a beautiful job of addressing this. Our spiritual leader, Reverend Dr. Sunny Cantrell Smith, you don't know her, you should definitely follow her on social media. She is such a powerhouse of integrity and walking the walk. Put out a great statement, and they're removing Deepak's stuff from our teachings, including a class and a book that I really loved. You know, the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And yet she's doing what she feels needs to be done to really address people that have been harmed. Reverend Dr. David Alexander also is writing about this, and so if you follow him or you follow him on Substack, you're going to see some really interesting things that people are addressing, the shadow that can show up even within our own organization. And what I want to talk about is the light aspect of the shadow, of how we as human beings have a tendency to repress our own brilliance, our own power, our own beauty, our talents, and project them onto other people, making them heroes and gods out of their mere mortality of humanness. We all do it. You know, I was one of those kids that when I was 10 years old, I cut out all these pictures out of magazines of famous people, actors and musicians, and made a whole wall of a collage of these people. And what I realized is that already at that young age, I thought, yeah, that's never going to be me. I emulated them. I projected these repressed qualities of myself onto these other people. The Deepak stuff has not been so surprising to me. There's been a lot of allegations around, and when you work in the self-help field, sometimes meeting your heroes is not always a great thing, and you see behind the curtain, and you see the humanness within people that we really respect and value and bring so much good to our world. And so a long time ago, I learned to separate the what from the who. The what is what is produced. Books, teachings, lectures, movies, art. It's something that flows through a person and comes out, and it reaches us and it touches us, reminds us about who we really are. It brings an awareness to us that can be really important. But sometimes we confuse the what for the who that produced it. Each and every one of us are vessels of spirit. Each and every one of us are able to flow spirit through us to produce things that did not exist before. Acts of creation that get to come through us. And so what happens when we that within ourselves, we can put too much importance on another person, thinking that they have the answers. I want you to know you have the answers. You truly do. A definition of the shadow that I really like is that it consists of unexamined beliefs, emotions, and impulses that were pushed out of awareness, but still influence our experience. When we illuminate them with consciousness, with what was in the dark comes out into the light, they lose their power to unconsciously shape our lives. I love that. When we bring what is in the dark out into the light, including the qualities within us that maybe have not found their expression, we get to be the heroes in our own lives. And then we don't need to put anyone else on a pedestal because we're embodying the light that only our unique spirit can bring out into the world. There's a really beautiful practice that you can do to own this within yourself. Many years ago, I did this with David Bowie, somebody who I really deeply admire. I wrote down all of the qualities that I believed that David Bowie had. And they included things like creative and authentic. And then I turned those into I am statements. And I said, I am creative. That resonated. I am authentic. Also resonated. But then I said, I am successful. And there was an inner cringe. There was an inner withdrawal that I could not see or embody that within myself. And so a practice that I did for many weeks was looking into the mirror and saying, I am successful. I am successful. I am successful. Until that felt true. And so the people that we see, that we look up to, that bring up these qualities, I'm going to encourage you to write down what you think they embody. What do you believe about them? Because honestly, it's just what you believe. Everybody who interacted with Deepak had their own experience of it. There's a lot of different versions of that story. It doesn't matter what's true. What's true for us. And so when we write those qualities down in the people that are our heroes, and we learn to embody them within ourselves, we become the creative aspect of what we're looking to see in the world. And then we can look at other people as teachers, as guides, as people that we admire, but we're not putting them on a pedestal that erases their human experience, that erases their flaws. Because the truth is, if we threw out every creative element, a film, a book, that was produced by a heavily flawed person, we would not have a whole lot. That's the truth, right? And I don't disagree with what the organization is doing with the materials. I have a friend who's literally threw out her Deepak books. I cannot throw out a book. I can't. I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. There is wisdom that is there. But I'm going to look through that wisdom that has been presented through the eyes of a greater clarity. What is resonating with me and what doesn't resonate? Because that authority that I may have given him 25 years ago is not there anymore. And that's freedom. That's true freedom, where we get to be the authority of what we take in and what we produce out of that. Each of us a vessel of the divine. Each of us creating our own good fortune, our own good luck. Luck is not random. The very very word says that it is. Miracles is also a word that somehow has within it an idea that it is random and rare. They are not. It is a responsiveness to consciousness. And we invite reflection on moments when something is labeled luck and it is revealed it was preparation meeting opportunity. Ernest Holmes says what we often call luck is consciousness aligning with opportunity. We are living in a time where it feels like the fantasies that are our bubble are being popped. I feel like that is probably happening for some very good reasons. One of those good reasons is for all of us to rise up, no longer waiting for someone to come along and save or rescue us, no longer waiting for someone else to give us what we've been wanting to create for ourselves. When all of the heroes are down, then each of us gets to be the hero within our own world. And it's hard. It's a bit of a painful dying off because so much of our culture is based on it, right? So much of our media, the Olympics are going on, right? We watch the Olympics and we're like, wow, look at what these people were able to do with their bodies. It's like they defy the laws of the physical body to do these incredible experiences. We could leave it right there. We don't have to turn them into gurus. We don't have to turn them into gods. We can appreciate the gifts and the expansiveness within human nature that we ourselves can stretch. Mind precedes manifestation. We believe that spirit is neutral, responsive, and abundant. How is it that powerful people become powerful? They believe they are worthy of it. They believe that they're deserving of fame and fortune. That belief is sometimes highly irrational. But they hold on to it. And it becomes created. What if each of us decided to be our own fame and fortune in whatever unique imprint that looks like through our own unique consciousness? You in this body will never exist in the form that you are in now. And yet there is a part of you that has never been hurt, harmed, or injured in any way, that will live beyond this body. What do you want to leave in your wake? Maybe you trusted yourself. Maybe you trusted that life was shining upon you as it shines upon everyone else. That it's equally available to each and every one of us when we decide to step up and claim it. To honor our worth, to honor our value, and to bring that value out into the world in a way that only we can. I'm telling you that if we knew to the depth of our beingness that we were all one, that we were all connected, and that was the pervasive belief that was in the planet, there would be no wars. It would be impossible for us to go against anyone else, not ever. And so there's people that think sometimes that our teaching is frivolous. Here I am, talking about luck and good fortune. There's nothing frivolous about it. Sometimes we manifest to simply prove to ourselves that we can, to stretch our beliefs in ourselves. It's not about the what. It's not about the money, it's not about the relationship, it's not about the job, it's not about the opportunity. It's about I am creator. And I am connected to the creative force that has created everything that has ever existed or will ever exist. And I am an individual expression of it. I am heard and I am known. And when we stand in the truth of that, mountains are moved. My faith is far bigger than the size of a mustard seed, I can assure you. But it's a faith that has been honed over years of using the law and trusting the outcome. So I get to apply that faith. I get to loan it. I get to give it out. I get to expand it. Every time I'm praying for someone, that's what I'm doing. Every time I look at a condition within someone and see and know the possibility of transformation coming out of that condition, I am using it. When I take a stand for the values that I believe in, even when it's not comfortable, I stretch the capabilities of that faith. And I loan it and give it and share it. And as just like love, when we give our faith out, it simply expands and we have more of it to give. We have a responsibility. Responsibility accepted is power reclaimed. From Louise Hay. Sometimes this is a double-edged sword. Something appears in our life that we don't like. And we think, I could be as much of a victim to this very day as anyone else. If it's choosing between blaming myself or blaming God, I usually go for God at this point. That's been an improvement. But very quickly, though, I come back to what within me is inviting this forward. And the second that I do that, I reclaim my power as I accept responsibility not from a place of self-blame or shame, not at all, but from a place of almost curiosity. What's happening here? What if? Right? That's our topic for the month. What if I knew what was behind this? What if I knew why this is showing up within me? What if I knew why I'm reacting so much to this experience that's before me? What if I knew? And being in that what if, because I love that that's the topic, it's something I ask all the time. What happens is often consciousness answers. Before you can even say the if part, the answer will be there. And you go, oh yeah, that means I can change this. That means I can make it different. I forgot my timer, so you guys are going to have to let me know if I go on too long. I'm sorry, I'm on fire. And then we can give way from out of our personal will to the will of God that is seeking to express through us. That takes all the pressure off. Isn't that great? That there's an all-knowing, all-powerful, everywhere present presence that lives within us, that's all around us, that meets us every step of the way, that knows better sometimes than we can even know for ourselves, and simply wants to say yes, simply wants to express through us. Fear contracts life. Love allows it. That's from Myrtle Fillmore. And Emmett Fox. When we let go of personal will, we discover a greater way. I love that. When we let go of personal will, I want it to be like this. We discover a greater way. There are things that I've expressed in, through, and out of my life that I could have never asked for, that I could have never predicted. Far better than anything that I would have thought of for myself. If only that little 10-year-old with the pictures taped to the wall knew how much I love my life, how much I stand in the power of who I am, how much I own my creative voice, how much I can stand in front of a group and say these really wild things trust and know that it's going to be okay. If only she knew what was available. She didn't know, but I do. Because it's been a long journey of healing and transformation since then. I don't need a vacation from my life. Recently, I work on a lot of holidays, including President's Day, and a friend said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you work on President's Day." I said, "What you don't understand is it's not work. I love what I do. I love the freedom and the power that I have to stand in the truth and to be able to have the honor of meeting one-on-one and sometimes holding in my hand the broken heart of someone who shows up in all their vulnerability, and to know that life is still there, working and acting on their behalf and showing up for them in the most extraordinary of ways. And that out of that despair comes hope, and out of that hope comes possibility, and out of that possibility comes newness. What an honor it is that I get to do that. I would do it on Christmas Day if I could, and I wouldn't have any regrets. I am the rock star of my own life. All those years singing to the vinyl records, right, and pretend with the hairbrush, pretending that I was going to be the rock star. Didn't think it was going to look like this. But man, I'm so glad it does. So my heart doesn't break when these revelations come out. Because I haven't made anyone else my God in a really long time. I recognize the flawed human experience that all of us are living at a time that is chaotic, at a time that feels like we are on a wild roller coaster from day to day. You don't know what revelations are going to come out. This is like the Me Too movement of the Me Too movement. There's some stuff being revealed. And it's been happening. But I believe it's happening so we stand in our power. Regardless of what you may think about yourself, about your age, about this, about that, it's nonsense. If you are here on the planet, embodied, then there is a reason why you are here. The power within you is still here. And there's times we go into dormancy, and there's times we forget about it, and there's times we don't want to see what it has to say. But what I want to say to you is if you're still here and you're still breathing, then you have something to give. You have something to create. You have a power within you that is seeking to be expressed more boldly, more greatly than ever before. And you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to have the blueprints. There's a power that does. You just have to show up and be willing and available and allowing. We're not bending God to our will. We're showing up and aligning with the truth of what we know and trusting what comes. Do you think that I wanted to talk about Deepak? I did not. But in the middle of the night, Spirit was telling me this was what I was going to be talking about. So that's what I do. I'm obedient to what comes through, even when it's not my agenda. Because there's something about it that needs to be said. Because there's a healing that can come out of saying some of the uncomfortable things. And I've gotten really good at that. There's days I wish I was Marianne Williamson, Course in Miracles, blah, blah, blah. I am not. I am not a spiritual teacher to emulate. I cannot tell you the number of times someone goes, you're a spiritual teacher? Yes, me. I'm a spiritual teacher. Maybe because I swear too much and still use 90s hip-hop phrases, word. There's probably a reason why people doubt it. But I am no longer trying to be the Miss Mary Sunshine because that's not who I am. I'm here to speak truth to power. And as I speak truth to power, a greater power flows through. And that power shows up. And it shows up in all of the things that we think of as good fortune and as luck. Let everybody else think it's luck. Let everybody else think, aren't you lucky that you know the truth? Stand in the truth of who you are. Take everybody off of the pedestals you put them on. They have no more power than what you've given them. And turn that right back around and show the world who we are. We are vessels of transformation. We are creative powers. We are the truth and the way and the life. Each and every one of us is. And so when these things come out, if you need to grieve, grieve. But then turn it around and own your power and recognize that Deepak freed a whole lot of people from thinking that they need a guru. They do not. You do not, I do not, we do not. It's all right here. And it's scary to embrace our light. It was scary to look into the mirror and say, I am successful. But I did it until it became comfortable. And guess what? My life changed after that. So recognize the light that the shadow is showing us. And then show up. And be that light. The world needs us, y'all. I'm rooting for us.
Participate in the law of circulation, where we allow our belief that all abundance and good comes to us, can move through us, and we can allow that to go out to this community and beyond. So I will pass our basket, just so old-fashioned passing a basket.
So wonderful.
But it's still a good practice. So if you want to give today, there's the basket and a way that you could give. We have other ways to give. There are QR codes in the back. You can give through PayPal, through Venmo, on our website. And you also give by just being here. Please know that. Many of you give automatically. You can always set that up on our website as well, or on Breeze, or Talk to Me. You can text to give. And you also give through your service, which we are so very grateful for. So many of you are in service and volunteer here. So there, I just want to point out that we have a new sign-up sheet for social hours, so you don't have to sign up for the whole thing. So please give it a little look later. We have one opening, so if you want to serve in that way, we thank the Romans for serving the whole way today and providing our social hour. But now, I just want you to take a moment and breathe into that miraculous space of alignment where you align with all good and all abundance and divine love, and you know that it is all sourced through and as you. And join me in our offering affirmation. Divine love consecrates my gift.
Divine love consecrates my gift.
It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless.
It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless.
It returns to me multiplied abundantly.
It returns to me multiplied abundantly.
As I share my good,
As I share my good,
I accept my greater good.
I accept my greater good.
So it is.
And so it is.
So, on to our announcements. The new member class is finally happening, and I look at it, I see everybody who signed up is here, so I'm just more than thrilled. So we're going to meet in here at 1 o'clock back in the sanctuary. If anybody feels moved who didn't sign up, please join us, even if you are a member and you want to kind of get freshen up, or connect to people. You're welcome to join us at 1 o'clock right here in the sanctuary. Next Sunday is our next sound journey with Catherine. There's spaces available, so please, there are flyers in the back. You can take them, use the QR code, sign up on Breeze. We do like you to sign up ahead of time so Cat can prepare for the experience. So that's happening next Sunday at 1 o'clock. Because of the winter storm last Sunday, we have rescheduled our chair yoga class. Deborah has agreed to offer it now on March 15th, which is the following Sunday after the sound journey. There are flyers in the back. Thank you, Deborah, for rearranging that. And she has asked that you sign up. I put a sign-up sheet back there, so if you could sign up so she could prepare for that, that would be great. Sign some mine. The magazines are here for, what month is it? March and April. They're in the back. Please take one, put the money in there. You can pay on Venmo or any other way that works for you. Please recycle your old Signs of Mine magazines here because we use them in our welcome packet. So if you want to bring them in, leave them on the back number. I covered that. This Friday already is our next healing circle. Our first Friday healing circle on March 6th with our beautiful practitioner Gail Belluardo. So please come to that. Thank you. And in response to some of the things, one of the things that came through on our autumn survey, we are starting discussion groups. They're going to be facilitated by myself and Lori and Gail. We're going to do them on the last Sunday of the month, starting in March, April, May. We're going to do it 3 times, see how it goes. We'll be meeting in the sanctuary at 1 o'clock. Kind of focus on whatever the theme of the month was, because we'll be done by the end of the month. And just, come and connect and bring your insights. It's very informal. It's a way for us to connect around the Signs of Mine teaching, what it means to you and how to integrate it into your life more. So they'll be at 1 o'clock. There's flyers in the back if you want to remember that. Speaking of our survey, from that we are still looking to form new groups that people have been interested in. But we need your feedback in order to do that. We need people to lead them. So in the back to the left are I'm calling really sign up to show your interest sheets. So if you're interested in a book group, which we think one, I don't have the details yet, but one may be coming soon, or to volunteer in a community, or to be part of, or teach, or facilitate meditation, please just sign up for your interest in that, because we're still putting that together. These will stay out for the rest of the month, so it gives everybody a chance to think about it, and we're going to start incorporating them and doing the logistics for them. You'll hear more about that at our annual meeting, which is on April 12th. So please save the date for our annual meeting on April 12th. There's also sign-up sheets for our ongoing. Oh no, I did that wrong. Well, the sign is back there. There's sign-up sheets back there for our ongoing teams and committees that we have. Welcoming, IT, social, and a new marketing team that is being formed as I speak. And speaking of, I'm going to invite up Lynn Forrest, who is the person who has taken on getting this started, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about it. And that for the next three Sundays this month, somebody from each of the teams is going to come up and talk about their team and be available for your questions, and so it'll be a good time to sign up if you're interested in that. But I want to thank Lynn for stepping up for this and so many things that she's
It's funny because I was never a person that was going to get up and talk in front of people. Like it struck terror into my heart. But here it's just like talking to a bunch of friends. They're all my friends. This can happen. So marketing, I don't know anything about marketing, so don't be intimidated. You don't have to know really anything. Word of mouth is the best marketing, I tend to think. So everybody can do something. Tell a friend. We're going to have certain bring a friend months or bring a friend Sundays and events and stuff to invite people to, and the groups forming and everything. So don't feel like you have to have special knowledge to join the marketing team, because I certainly don't. But I was willing to pick a time and date to get together. So that's So I just from the surveys, I loved reading the surveys. I thought everybody had great ideas and everybody filled them out so thoroughly and with love, and everyone was so positive. It was such a groundswell of positivity and enthusiasm. So some of the ideas people came up with on the surveys, the question was, what innovative ideas do you have about increasing membership in our community? So people said volunteering in communities around our center, have a booth at community events, advertise in Natural Awakening magazine, exercise club, health club, meditation club, bring your friends, service projects that attract younger people, nature walks and hikes, drum circles, finding ways to easily describe SOM teaching, bumper stickers, pins, having popular authors to speak and sign books, volunteering as a team, host events to increase family participation, such as drumming, face painting, yoga, free photo with Santa, turkey trot, things like that. Movie events, fundraising walks, trash cleanup days, movie nights, concerts, bring a guest on Sunday, get a free book as a reward. More presence at local events and fairs, more visibility in community college or universities. Just tons of just simple, good events that anybody could participate in. So our first meeting is going to be March 22nd, Sunday after social hour in here. So feel free to just drop in. It's very low commitment. You're not signing your life away or anything like that. So feel free to come if you want to know about. If you can't make that one, but you want to be involved in future marketing meetings or put your name on the marketing list, then I'll let you know when they're going to happen. So
Thanks,
Thank you for stepping up along with Fernando in here to do movie night. So we had our second movie night on last Friday, and there'll be one more at the end of March.
They say that fortune favors the bold. And what I know is there is nothing more bold than to stand in the power of embodying the presence of God on earth. To stand in the truth of each of us being creative vessels that allow love and harmony and joy to flow through. Because each of us are those individual waves of the expression that is consciousness. All is available, all is here, and all is well. And so what I'm knowing on behalf of each and every one of us is that we let go of the ideas of our heroes, and instead we become the heroes that we already are. That we take a stand for what we believe in, that we stand in a place of integrity, that we stand in a place of peace. And as each of us takes a stand and emanates that energy out, God simply says yes. I know that on behalf of each and every one of us, that our lives are becoming more full, more abundant, more prosperous, more love-filled, more harmonious than we ever thought possible. And that each of us takes a chance on owning our own innate power and being that circle of influence in the world to emanate truth out in all directions, in every way. And I know that we are divinely guided and supported in all of those actions, in the divine timing, in the universal intelligence that flows through, that provides the ideas and the next steps. What I am knowing, as we stand for who we are, for what we believe, for what we know to be true, we become the vessels of simply embodying more light on the planet that casts out the shadows and allows more good to be experienced, to be embraced than ever before by each and every one of us and everyone else too. So with enormous gratitude for this, for the sacred calling that is flowing through, and for the way that we are supported in those callings, I move into that place of sweet, gentle surrender. I move into the place of faith. I move into the place of what is possible here. And I am so incredibly thrilled when God says yes. Letting the word go and knowing that it is so. Please join with me by saying,
And so it is.
Amen.
Amen.
If you want more love, give love. If you want more joy, give joy. If you want more peace, give peace. If you want more, give. If you want more, you got to give. If you want more money, give your money. If you want more time, give up your time. If you want more friends, be your friend. If you want more, give. If you want more, you got to give. When you give, you receive. It's as simple as that. There's no effort or no struggle. It's just a simple fact. If you want to see change, be the change. If you want to have more truth, tell your truth. If you want more gratitude, give thanks. If you want more, give. If you want more, you got to give. to give. Hey. Thank you. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Carson is our speaker and Grayson is doing the music, so great song.